Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Las Vegas Raiders Insider Podcast. I'm your host, Hondo Carpenter, and of course, I'm your Las Vegas Raiders beat writer on Sports Illustrated. Great to have you with me today. I am very excited to have my much better half, the love of my life, my sweetie pie, my Shannon's with me today. We are here in Cabo San Lucas. Beautiful. I think it's probably the third most beautiful place on the earth, maybe the fourth. It's absolutely beautiful here. We love coming here. Dexter loves coming here. We got two of our five sons are with us. My son Shane and my son Dexter Ernest Wayne are here with us. And we're here with some just terrific friends who we love dearly. But because it's not normal where I'm printing questions, Shannon's going to read your questions as we start digging into what's going on with the Raiders. You ready, sweetheart? I kind of like having this, just you leaning into me. This is all right. All right, here we go. Let's go.
Uncle Han Diggity Doo.
Ooh,
I called you that.
Uncle Han Diggity Doo. All right, that's a new one.
What are the details with Geno from Kenny R. in Waco?
Kenny, that's a great question. So first of all, I kept telling you people there was nothing to be worried about. If a deal couldn't get struck, they could have franchised Geno. He wanted to be here. They wanted him. But I kept saying to you, the Raiders had to have a deal that made sense. You can go back and listen. I even said it's coming down to what the guarantees were. So the Raiders give him $66.5 million guaranteed, which in today's QB1 market, that's literally not much. It can go up to 85, 88 million, somewhere in that range if he reaches all the incentives, but you don't mind paying 42 mil. That's cheap for a quarterback that's going to hit all of those incentives. This was a great deal for the Raiders. And if you're Geno Smith and you feel comfortable how you're going to perform, it was a great deal for him too. If you're not comfortable, then you don't want that deal because you don't want to take a shot. You don't think you're going to reach those incentives. He does. Everybody's happy. I still expect the Raiders to take a quarterback in this draft. But if you watched last night's podcast, my mock draft, where I had the Raiders with a tremendous mock draft, and then picking up two more additional picks, so they would have 3 first-rounders next year, in case things with Geno didn't go the way they wanted, or the quarterback that they get this year doesn't maybe seem to be who they want. They could go that direction next year, and if everything does work out, then you got 3 more picks to solidify your team. But this was a great deal for the Raiders, very favorable deal for the Raiders. I think it was a good deal for Geno, but I think it was also a good deal for John Spytek because he demonstrated he was going to hold the line. The Raiders got a very team-friendly deal. They weren't cheap with Geno, but they certainly were aggressive but intelligent. I think they handled it the right way. All right, let's go to the next one.
Uncle Hondo, I am getting married. Any advice? Melton L.
Melton L.
That's quite the name.
Melton. I guess I should say nothing with a name like Hondo, should I? First of all, I like your name, Melton. I think that's cool. Yeah, I'll give you a great piece of advice. Marry your absolute best friend. And you know what? Best friends mean something. And Shannon is my best buddy in the whole world. I love her. I appreciate her. And you know what? Every marriage goes through tough times. And so when you marry your best friend, then that's the person. Who do you want to go hang out with if your marriage is bad and you're not married to your best friend? You want to go hang out with your best friend.
Exactly.
So there will be times that she's probably mad at me more than I'm mad at her. And you know that's true. But I'm her best friend. So she goes and hangs out to me and tells me how big of a jerk her husband is. But marry your absolute best friend. And let me tell you, that's a great place to start. It's not the only key, but that's a big one. All right, let's get back to football.
Hey, Hando, my question involves draft strategies. I know good drafting teams are aware of the next year's players, but how much do they affect this year's strategy? There are some intriguing prospects in the 2026 draft, but do next year's strengths and weaknesses have any effect on this year's draft strategy? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Best, Brandon T. in Marietta, California.
In Marietta, California?
Yes.
Brandon, great question. It absolutely does. I'm telling you right now, I was just at the owners' meeting. You know what the number one topic was? Arch Manning. Talking about Arch Manning, a guy who hasn't even been a starter in college. and everybody thinks he's the best player in college football. And by the way, the people who've told me that, I agree with them because I trust them. You better believe it. Let me tell you, because there are so many bad drafting teams, you're going to see a lot of quarterbacks get picked. Okay. But Adam Schefter even said, and I started to hear this too. I've heard from good drafting teams, they think 3 quarterbacks could go before the Raiders pick at 6. But at the owners' meetings, I started to hear teams that were not good drafting teams saying, I think maybe only 1 gets picked in the first round. And if that happens, it's not going to be because bad drafting teams became good. It's going to be because bad drafting teams are even smart enough to realize what Arch Manning is and what next year's class is. Let me just say this. Met a lot of ladies in my life, but I met one that was a first round draft pick. Okay. Even I was smart enough to say, whoa, wait for that Shannon girl. And so even the bad drafting teams realize, hey, if we're bad this year, what if we get to be bad next year and we get Arch Manning? So, yes, absolutely. They're constant. And look, matter of fact, I'll tell you a funny story. Not a quarterback. At the owners' meeting, I was having a conversation with the celebrity chef Guy Fieri, and was talking to a general manager who mentioned a player he really likes next year, an offensive lineman. So yeah, they're absolutely paying attention to all that. Thanks, Brandon.
This is from Kenny McDowell. Hi, Hendo. I'm a lifelong Raider fan from 1970. I'm 66. I'm a big John Gruden fan and think he got a bad deal in the NFL. Do you think Gruden will ever coach again in NFL or college? And if you think yes, which would be your guess?
Great question. I think what John did was regrettable, but I would say every single person on this planet has things that they've done privately that they regret. I do.
Yeah, me too.
And
Sure.
and so I think he got a raw deal because things that were done, you know, I know some things I can't share. So, and you know as well, and I can't talk about them. But let's just say this: I think it was regrettable what he did, but I also know he was the first to come out. He looked his team in the eye, he looked people in the eye, and he apologized. And I think America and Americans love a comeback story.
For sure. Oh,
I
for sure.
I think they love a redemption story. I don't think you can be a person that believes in grace and not believe in redemption like Shannon and I believe in. So do I think he should? Do I think he would in a heartbeat? And I know that. Do I think he should? Absolutely, in a heartbeat. I think you need to keep an eye on his lawsuit. Now, you may remember when he first filed lawsuit against the Roger Goodell in the NFL. We had a huge story that this could cost Roger because the NFL, when they get lawsuits, they settle them. But John Gruden ain't broke. And John Gruden's not looking to settle. He's looking to clear his name. He's going to be, and so when that case, if it gets to discovery, I believe the NFL is going to do everything to settle it because they don't want it to get to discovery. And if they say, hey, we'll help you get an NFL job, but I would just say probably it's going to be in college, is where I would expect him to get, just because college teams, look at all the scumbags who do get rehired in college, and John's not a scumbag, and he's a winner. So I would think it would probably be in college.
All right. Hello, Hendo. This is Rob P. from Carthage, MO. For the first time in a long time, many of us Raider fans are optimistic. I've been a Raider fan since the first NFL game I ever watched, when they crushed the Steelers in 1976 en route to winning Super Bowl
I remember that
11.
game.
Then they went on to win Super Bowl 17 and claim the title the team of the decades. Well, that title hasn't aged well. However, the fan base is still one of the strongest in the league. Why do you think that, despite their struggles, the Raiders still command such loyalty? Yours for him, Rob. Super good question.
Great question. And I can tell you this. Shannon and I were just in an airport before we landed here in Kabul. We haven't, how long have we been in Kabul? Well, it took
2
us,
hours.
yeah, I mean,
Well,
it took us an hour and a half to get through
customs.
customs. It was terrible. It's usually great here. But we ran into a guy at the Airport.
Mhm.
I mean, Raider Nation is everywhere. So first of all, you're right. This is an awesome fan base. I love this fan base. I was talking to some fans a couple nights ago, and 1% of the fans are jerks, 99% are awesome. Show me another group where 99 is awesome. I mean, you're a nurse. Are 99% of nurses great and 1% bad?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can tell you this. I don't think 99% of media are great guys. I think it's a high percentage. I don't think it's 99%. But I think it's phenomenal. So you know what? You just really laugh and go, okay, 1% are bad. I can live with that. And but I would say this too. I think the fans are awesome. And so the question, Shannon, was you wanted to know about them being optimistic, or read me the last part of it real quick.
Why the title hasn't aged well. However, the fan base is still one of the strongest in the league. Why do you think that despite their struggles, the Raiders still command such loyalty?
I think for a couple of reasons. This franchise has been very loyal to the fans. And I'll give you a good one. Shannon and I have a very close bond. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And we are very loyal to one another.
Yeah.
Very. And when we're here in Cabo with some great friends, and we love them and we're loyal to them. They're great people. Okay. Loyalty breeds loyalty. And so when you're loyal and that's who you are, you get that back. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be screaming, they weren't loyal. They left for Vegas. They had to go. It was for the best interest of the franchise. But they're loyal to this fan base. Mark Davis loves these fans. It's not fake. I know Mark. It's not fake. It's legitimate. And so I can tell you, I think that's why. Even at I remember one time Shannon said to me, "Go to bed." And I said, "Why?" She goes, "Because I'm mad at you, but I'll see you in the morning." It's loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I'm leaving. It's go to bed. We'll start over again tomorrow. And I think that there are times that this relationship is tough, and the fans are tough. I think there are times that the franchise has been tough on the fans. But when you've got those years of loyalty, I think it means something. And I
They
think
always stick together.
they stick together. And my dad used to always say, family over everything, over everything. And your family, and you stick with each other. You don't give up on each other. And Al Davis did that. And this is that Dexter in his swing crying? Wow, he's
Like,
upset.
he's very mad.
All right. And so he's mad. Oh, his brother's having to babysit him.
He's making him be quiet.
Merry Christmas.
He doesn't want to be quiet.
That's gonna cost us at Christmas.
He wants to come.
That's gonna cost us at Christmas
He
when
wants
Shane
to
says,
be
"Here's
on the
my list.
podcast.
Here's my list." And remember, I had to deal with Dexter. Anyways, so I think that's why. I think loyalty. Okay, next one.
Hey, Hendo, while you are at the owners meeting, could you nose around a little concerning any word on Hunter Renfrow? I just want to dismiss any potential excitement if greater chances are I'll be disappointed. Thank you. Kenny Mack, Oakland born.
Kenny Mack from Oakland, from Oaktown. Let me just say this to you. I think there's a possibility that Hunter comes. I think some things would have to happen for that could happen quickly, but I think some things would have to happen for that to come to fruition. So I certainly think it's possible. Certainly think it's possible. Go ahead. I know that's
all right.
I know sounds like a political answer, and I'm not political, but you know why I'm saying that, and I could for sure. Yes.
In your mock, you seem to have Raiders taking quarterback in fourth round. Will Howard if available? I hear the Pats may move quarterback Milton. Would Raiders have any interest? Where would Milton rank versus quarterbacks in this draft? Thanks, Dennis F. McCoy.
Okay, Dennis, now why we were on the plane today, he got traded. So, but I still wanted to read this question. I'm going to tell you why. The Raiders checked on everybody. And so he's not here. And that should tell you exactly. I don't believe that Milton was a viable a viable option for this franchise. Good guy, everybody likes him, super athletic. But I think there was a reason why the Patriots wanted to move on from him. And I'm not shocked that he went to Dallas.
All right. My question is, if Geno Smith is signed to a large extension, would you still expect Aiden O'Connell to get a realistic shot to earn the QB1 spot for 2025?
Okay, again, this is one that broke just before we got on the plane, or we found out before we were on the plane. It actually happened while we were on the plane, but we found out before. Absolutely. And I know that's why they wanted to put the deal together, the Geno that they put together. And that is one thing about Tom Brady, John Spytek, and Pete Carroll you are going to love. The best players play. And if Aiden can beat him, Aiden's going to get the job, but he's going to have to beat him.
Yeah, I think that answers the next question.
And that's why I love football.
Mhm.
This isn't everybody gets a freaking trophy. I hate that. I hate that. We were on the plane today, and this kid just totally being a brat. And I'm not mad at the kid. I'm mad at his parents.
Right.
And literally, the kid's like 8 or 9 years old. And people were telling us, oh my goodness, I can't believe how well behaved your kid. Now, Dexter flies a lot, but I can't believe how well your 2-year-old behaved when other kids weren't. Well, that's a shame on the parents. That's shame on the parents. And so, how do you get that? You let your kids compete, and they're going to let everybody compete. Why? Because you can't lie to your locker room. You can't tell your players, we're just here to win it. Best player plays. And when everybody in the team knows who the best player is and he's not playing, you're a liar. You have no credibility. It's just like last year. Everybody plays in the preseason. Devontae, I don't want to play. Okay, but everyone's going to play.
Right.
Well, Devontae didn't play. How'd that season work out? And you know more than they know. And trust me. And so, no, he's going to get the chance. He's going to get the, if you're an AOC guy, Aiden O'Connell's your guy. You should be excited. I think he's going to get the best chance he's ever had as a pro. Best coaching, everything. And if he can win it, he's going to win it. He's got to win it. All right, next one.
That came from Dylan T in Montana, so thank you. Mr. Carpenter. He's not been watching for very long. Either that or he's a young kid.
You're so funny.
Mr. Carpenter, wouldn't we have a better O-line if we had kept Andre James rather than signing Alex Kappa? Fairly certain James played tackle in college and probably would have been a better depth and rotation player at all positions instead of Kappa, and for not that much more money. From Matthew C.
Let me just say something real quick. I don't know if the people can see it because the sunlight's so bright behind us. The Sea of Cortez is behind us. We're staying at our beautiful gated home in Cabo with the Sea of Cortez right out our backyard. It's gorgeous. But
we got some good friends.
I like this view. This is a much better view than the Sea of Cortez. I love you, sweetie. So do I think they would have been better to keep Andre James and not Alex Kappa? I'm going to be very blunt with you. I thought Alex had a rough year last year, but I think he's played really well. And John Spytek's had a lot of experience with him, and John believes in him. So this is one of those things I don't think it really matters what my opinion is. I trust John Spytek. I have for 20 years, and I trust him today. So if he feels like that's what the Raiders had to do to get better, then I support him 110%.
All right. With how many failures we see at quarterback coming into the league, do you think they will ever give teams an extra roster spot that wouldn't count against the salary cap just for redshirting any quarterback that's in their first 2 years in the league? And maybe any quarterback in their the first year with a new team. Thanks, Doug H. from Colorado.
No, not a chance.
All right.
No. Hey, I looked that word "no" up in the Greek. You know what it means?
No.
No.
And it's even spelled the same. N.
Hey, I looked up the word "no" here in Mexico. You know what it means?
No.
No. No bueno.
Do you know how to, I was gonna say, do you know how to say that in Mexico? In
Spanish? No bueno. No, well, I think bueno means good. So it wouldn't be no bueno, just no.
No,
No,
sounds good to me.
no. No. We're idiots.
Yeah, but we have fun.
We do have fun.
Okay. Over the course of your time covering the silver and the black, how much influence or pressure has Raider Nation had on the franchise's decision making? And in your opinion, has that influence ever been a detriment to the team?
Oh yeah.
Thanks for everything you do, Eric D. in Torrance.
Do you know what story I'm thinking about? I think you know. I'm not. I don't.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, I'm not going to say a name. Yes, absolutely. We have a very, very good friend who was one of the biggest free agents and was thinking about signing with the Raiders for a lot of reasons. One of them, he wanted to be near us. And his agent started, other teams were sending him vitriol that Raiders fans were putting at players, and not guys who made bad plays, guys who stuff wasn't even their fault. And he's like, whoa, that looks like a toxic fan base. And we tried to tell him it's 1%, but he ended up going somewhere else. But I know it's hurt him with free agents. I know that it has. I don't think you're going to see that have any influence moving forward. But yes, it's been an absolute huge impact in the past.
That's it.
You're kidding me.
That was the last one.
You're kidding me.
It was only 21 minutes.
Man, these people are going to want you on more because I go quicker when you're on. They're like, man, less Hondo, more Shannon. All right. I love you, sweetie.
You too.
Anyway, stay here.
Bye, everybody.
We've got dinner appointments. Toscados. Listen. Okay, listen. The best restaurant in the United States is Papacitos, best Mexican food in the world. I'm down here in Mexico.
And we like Cascadas.
But it's not as good as Papacitos. But Cascadas is really good. It's on the beach in Cabo. It's a great restaurant. We literally go there every single day when we're in Cabo. And if you don't tell anybody, sometimes we go there 2 or 3 times a day. It's the best. Great food. Get the bacon wrapped shrimp.
And the mimosas.
You're so funny.
Yeah.
Hey, you all have a wonderful day. We appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow right back here from Paradise. Not going to have Shannon with me. I'm not going to have Shannon with me, so it's probably going to be a 35-minute podcast. Hey, God bless you guys. God bless you. And by the way, to the guy that asked, I don't remember his name, that wanted the marriage advice. Shannon and I are going to be praying for you. I hope that you are able to marry somebody that you love and adore like I do, Shannon. Isn't that cool?
It is.
I hope that you're able to look at her one day and say, I'm just married my best friend. I hope that. And I hope that for all of you.
And make sure when you look at her, it's not, I can live with her. It's, I can't live without her.
Remember us talking about that before we got married?
Yep.
I said to Shannon, I mean, she's beautiful. I'm ugly. Look I'm a Yeti. She's Miss America. But I remember telling her, it's not that I can't, I can live with you. I can't live without you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
a big difference.
It's huge, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Appreciate y'all. God bless you. Oh, didn't turn on.